it's that worst feeling, you know, when you get that phone call and that video and you think, oh my God, what else could it be? So this is the life of a jobbing breakdown engineer. You know, you're going to get callbacks, you're going to get recalls. Evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Bear with me, just pouring myself a cup of green tea. So welcome to today's video. Now, we will get that message from a customer late at night after you've done a job, and you look at it and it's not good. Water's leaking out the boiler that you've just worked on. And first thing that goes through your mind is, oh, yeah, that's exactly what happened to me on this job. Luckily, it's a very good customer of mine, so they're pretty sweet as. So I said I'll come around first thing in the morning and get it sorted. And yeah, the job just went from bad to worse. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I hope you guys do enjoy this one. Again, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you all on Sunday. Hope you've had a good week and enjoy the rest of the few days of the week. So this is a boiler that I've been looking after for the last couple of years or so. And the flow and return pipes in here have been leaking. So it's got the old ones. Let me get the case off one-handed. Let's put that down there. So this one, it's had a full service. It's got new burner door, or new second-hand one, because I took it off another boiler which I'd salvaged because it had never been serviced before. When I went to take the electrodes out, they were basically cross-threaded inside, or they sheared when I tried to take it out, so I couldn't get the new one in. So luckily I had the same boiler at home in my shed, so I managed to rob the burner door off of that one, which is still in good nick. It was the same kilowatt as well, so that the burner itself was the same size as well. So managed to get the customer out of trouble with that. Put a new set of electrodes in. The turret seal had been leaking in the past, so that's been replaced. The flue seal has been replaced. And today I am here. It's had a new pressure sensor, new diverter valve. It's had a pretty major rebuild, so the boiler should be pretty much as good as new once we've dealt with these last few bits. So yeah, I've got the old hoses there and on the flow and return connections, so they're going to be coming out, and I'm going to be replacing it with the copper conversion kits. So let's start getting it drained out and let's start stripping things apart and putting new bits in. Get this one back up and running. Boiler's been drained out. Now what I did do before I started, I just soaked that connection at the back in WD-40, because I've had it, but it's not happened to me thankfully, but I have been to jobs where someone's attempted it and they put hairline crack in the main heat exchanger, which you really don't want today. So I've soaked it in WD-40, let it do its thing. I'm going to start undoing the connections from here and just give that a little bit more time. So I'll probably undo the return connection first, and that will then allow me enough sort of wiggle. I might even just cut the hoses off so that I've got space to pull them out, but let's see. Let me just give it a go first. So the flow and return connections have been taken out. They actually came out fairly easily. So I don't know if that's because I've already soaked the connection in WD-40 or not, but they came out pretty easily. Now let's just have a look at how much muck is actually caught up in these rubber hoses. They don't seem too bad. I've seen a lot worse. And a bit of black. This is the one which is oh yeah, that is, I can't even squeeze that, and that's rock solid. So we'll cut that open afterwards. You can see where it's bulging as well on there. So yeah, we'll cut this open afterwards and see how badly choked up this is. I'm gonna stick my finger in the flow manifold to see if there's any muck caught in there, because obviously we don't want the canoe filter to get blocked up as well. So while I've got this out, I'm gonna have a look to make sure there's nothing caught up in there, and then I'll probably start with the return because it's at the back, so it's easier to do that one first and then do the flow, which is, I say it's easier, but it's kind of not. It's getting that bottom connection in can either go in nice and easy, or it can be a real headache. I do prefer doing this job on the newer style vaillants, where you can take the side panel off so you've got more room. What I have done in the past on these, if you are really struggling to get the bottom connection in, I take the plate out so that it gives you a bit more room. See, right now the plate's sort of in line with that flow manifold. So what I've done in the past, if I've really struggled to get it in, I take the plate out, and then where the plate is right now, you can get your hand around the pipe and pull it in like so. But let's see if we can do it without having to do that, because it's just another part that you have to take out and I really don't want to. So let's try and do it this way. Well, that was challenging to say the least. But normally, the easiest way is to take the burner out, but then you've got to replace the G10 seal and everything, or you can take the expansion vessel out. But I managed to, as you saw, hook and tease it around, and I've got it in. Now, with the flow connection, so it comes in these two parts. Now, what I can never remember which way around I do it, because I haven't done this in a while. I think what I tend to do is get the bottom one in there first, get the clip in, and so I can move it around, push this all the way down, because this is now acting like a slip coupling, get that in, and then tilt it back up, and then push it up into the flow connection. That's my theory. Let's see if it actually works out. Right, that's in. So yeah, that is how I did it. I got the bottom one in first, got the clip all the way through, then I was able to rotate it, push that one into it, slide it into position, and push it up. Now, before I put the NTCs and everything back on, I'm gonna fill up and test it for leaks, make sure we're all good on the leak side, there's nothing leaking, and then purge it, etc., and test it, and hopefully we should all be out of here momentarily. Okay, boiler is on, it's purging, no leaks there, nothing on there. So we're done, back in business. So once it's finished purging, I'll just test the heat in hot water, make sure it's still all dry, and then we're done. One thing I did forgot to show you is this. So like I said, the return was fine, flow was rock solid. Cut it open, look, there's still bits coming out of it. If you ever come across these, do not ever squeeze them whilst inside the boiler. Give it just gently. If it's rock solid, leave it, because all that, imagine if that worked its way down into the canoe filter, then you've got problems with circulation, either on the hot water side or on the heating side even. So don't ever squeeze them. If you find that they're hard, replace it, because, and show your customers this video if you want to refer back to it. This is the reason why, if you come across these rubber hose flow and return connections, it's a good idea to replace them, because this is what will come out of it, all that bitty hard chunks of debris. That's only going to work its way into the other components of the boiler and cause it to fail. So that's done. So I'm back at the Vaillant job from yesterday. Everything was running sweet. I had the boiler running before I left while I was packing up, tested the heating and the hot water. Everything was running fine. And then I got that dreaded message and video from the customer last night. Water's just pouring out the boiler. Now, luckily, they're a very good customer of mine. They're very understanding. So I said to him, look, I'll come first thing if they can put a container underneath it for now or anything like that. So I'm here. They've just gone to drop the kids off to the nursery. So I'm just waiting for them to get back. And then I'm going to go in and have a look. But it's that worst feeling, you know, when you get that phone call and that video and you think, oh my God, what else could it be? So this is the life of a jobbing breakdown engineer. You know, you're going to get callbacks, you're going to get recalls. The worst thing I can do is panic and overthink the situation, which doesn't help when I've received that message the night before, because it's messed up my sleep and everything. But it is what it is. They're like I said, they're a good customer. They weren't angry or anything like that. They're just like, look, I'll put the video up that he sent me, and you can see, look, he's actually saying sorry for messaging you this late, but he's just noticed all this water leaking out the boiler. So yeah, I'm gonna go in and have a look and just find out what's happened. If it's something that I've done, or if it's something unrelated, if it's something else. You know, all these questions just start going through your mind, and it can really bring you down. And it kind of did a little bit last night. So yeah, let's just go in and have a look.
Chirac, sorry, just sending you this. I've just come back down. It was absolutely fine. I don't know what's happened here. The heating's not even been on. But you can see I opened the cupboard and it was leaking right down. Water was pouring down the wall here into the back of this socket. It was making a noise. You can see, I don't know if you can, all the water has just poured out all over the place. So it's suddenly leaking like crazy. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where the leak is coming from. I'm probably going to need you to come around again pretty soon.
Okay, here we are. So boiler had no pressure in it. Just taken the case off, and I can see at the back there's two drips coming from the return. No, it's one drip. So I thought there was a drip just coming from here, but it's not. It's actually coming from the top. I don't know if it will come up on camera. So we've got one drip at the back there, and then it also looks like there's a small drip from the flow connection as well. And this is where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to try just getting new O-rings, replacing the O-rings, although they were new. Let's just try another set of new O-rings. Worst case scenario, there is a hairline crack in the main heat exchanger, which I'm hoping it's not. I'm really hoping it's not. But if it is, it is, and we have to deal with it. But let's try the O-rings first. Right, so I've got the flow and returns disconnected again. Now, there's no point in me getting the camera in there because you're not going to be able to see it, but I think I can see a very, very small hairline crack on the return. Now, I'm not sure if it is a hairline crack or if it's just part of the molding joiner. There's a bit of dust on here. Don't know if it's the molding line or if it is actually a hairline crack. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I've got nothing left to lose. I'm going to try out this from AD MCXS. So it's an external leak sealer and jointing compound. So it's kind of like silicone grease, but I think it's more like LSX. I think it's more like an LSX type product. So I've got nothing left to lose. I spoke to the customer already. I did explain the risks when doing this job yesterday. So They're not blaming me for it. They just want it repaired. If it needs a new main heat exchanger, we'll look at getting a new main heat exchanger, a reconditioned one, rather than a brand new one, because the reason I'm repairing this boiler is because they haven't got the funds to spend on a brand new boiler. And I'm going to see, well, I'm going to try this first and then we'll see. I don't want to think that far ahead right now. I'm going to try this out, see if it works. I'm not holding my breath, but if it works, fantastic. If not, we're going to have to look at a new main heat exchanger, but let's try this first. Okay, so I just flew out to another job, done a quick boiler service to give this MCXS as much time as I can to cure, in the hopes that it will seal up if there is a hairline crack in the main heat exchanger. So now I'm back here and I'm going to start filling up. That's all tight, that's all tight. Right, let me... open up the flow returns. That's open. Come on. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, I haven't shut the drain off. All right, let me do that first. Yeah, it's a no-go. Main heat exchanger has actually split. I can actually see it now. I don't know. I'm going to film from here. I'm going to try and zoom in on it when I'm editing it, but I can actually see where it's leaking out from. As soon as I top up pressure, I can see a hairline crack at the back, and you can see little bubbles coming out of it. So yeah, it's going to need a new main heat exchanger. Okay, that's fine. Got to make some inquiries now and try and deal with that. So I've just got to the next one. Well, I've done one before this, but I didn't bother filming it because all it was a thermal straw, and the customer said the bottom element wasn't working. So I went in there and the thermostat had just tripped out. So popped it back in, tested my powers, everything's working, and that was it. I did my resistance checks on it initially, did a dead test on it, and there was no signs of short circuiting or anything like that. So I don't know if it was just a one-off, but not worth really filming that. So that's done. Next one, I will put a picture up, if I remember to put a picture up, of the boiler that's leaking. It's an EcoFit Pure. If you're looking at it, it's on the front right hand side is where it's been leaking from. My money is on the diverter valve because from experience, that's the most common part that tends to leak in these boilers. I could be wrong, it could be something else, but I've got a diverter valve with me on the van. Let's go inside, let's see if it is that. And if it is, I want to be in and out of there in like half an hour, if that. Let's see. My suspicions were correct. Diverter valve's leaking. So I'll put a link up here and in the description below of how I've done this. I've done a dedicated video on how to change a diverter valve on one of these. I'll run you through it right now. Easy. Put the boiler into mid position, P6, drain it out. Obviously I select the front returns. You've literally got two T20 screws, one on the top there, one on the bottom there. You might need a pair of grips to yank it out. I always use my wet vac from this because no matter how well you drain the boiler out, there's always water sitting behind this diverter valve for some reason. So I always just use my wet vac, catch the last bit of water and then get the new one in. I really need a wee. Luckily toilet's right here, so I'm not going to film that. I'm going to do this and then do that. Right, boiler's been drained out, expansion vessel's been recharged, that's ready to come out, new one's ready. So you get two O-rings on this. You get one thick one which goes on the back end and you get the thin one which goes on the front. And Vaillant do actually give you a little bit of silicone grease as well for this. And it's got the two T20 screws. We've got another two T20 screws in the pack, so get them ready. And like I said, undo those, pop this one out. Sometimes it comes out easily by hand, sometimes it doesn't, and you need grips. And I've got the wet vac with me, so I'm going to pretty much set that up underneath there to catch any excess water, and we'll try and get this swapped over quick time. Right, that's all swapped over, and you can tell why it's leaked, because water quality is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to speak to them about potentially getting power flush done on this, because I don't think it's been flushed. It's just had a filter put on there without a flush, and that's why the water quality is that bad. Let's fill this up, test it, and then move on to the next one. Here we go. That's about to come out. That's about to go in. So I already left it all disconnected from here. So I've just got to take out the burner, and then to take the main heat exchanger out, I've got to remove the vessel, because there's a screw on this bracket right at the back there, but you can't get to it without taking the vessel out. So I'm going to take the vessel out, probably grab a new fiber washer for that. And there's a screw on that side. There's a screw, I believe, on this side as well. Or is there? I can't remember exactly. Or I just got to undo these two. And then, yeah, I don't actually think I need to undo this. Or I don't think I need to take the vessel out. It's been a while since I've done one of these. No, I do need to take the vessel out, because because there is another two screws like that on that side, which I can't get to because of the side panel. So now I remember, it's been ages since I've done one of these. Got to remove the vessel, undo those two screws so I can remove this bracket completely, and then this allows me to bring the main heat exchanger out like this, and then the new one I can slide it in the same way, obviously up into the turret, and this at the other. So yeah, let's get it done. Okay, water's on, well, back up to pressure. Just doing my 26.9 checks, which is looking good. Sweep test is good, turret seal's not leaking. Nothing's leaking inside. Thank God for that. My battery's about to die on this, so I'm gonna call this a night. Thank you for watching. It's been a stressful day, but everything got done. So it's been a good end to the day anyway. So, good night.